Hey, welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. Is I, DJ Impact. We got Sin City Steve. We got Rob Bostellari. We welcome you guys to Wrestling Talk. That's right. We're here with you, and we welcome you to join us with your comments. Just put it in the box. Whatever chat platform you're watching, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live, we appreciate it. And we're going to get right into it. I mean, we have a big event that just took place this weekend.
Was there?
Yeah, there was, man. I can't wait to. And by the way, because you just know most of the time y'all yak it up with AEW. I want to make sure that you're in your segments this week. I better hear some SummerSlam somewhere. And
what happened in AEW? There was AEW this week.
Oh boy! All right, let's get right into it. There's got to be some Too Sweet for the week. Let's see. All right, Sin City Steve, man, what we got?
All right, so at the risk of stepping on toes, I don't want to kick off the show and be that AEW guy and just talk about WWE and steal the thunder from you guys. So I will focus on AEW and some of my other on WWE and some of my other segments. Sure. But I'm going to let you guys have the floor in this segment to talk about WWE stuff. Again, I just don't want to steal your thunder. In any event, we now know that it will be title versus career at Wembley Stadium. Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland. If Bryan Danielson loses, he will never wrestle again. So y'all know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Danielson's winning the
title.
title.
And the winner is?
Yep.
Yeah. So I do hate when they telegraph finishes like this, but something that really did stand out to me is the fact that Bryan Danielson came out on Dynamite and he cut a promo. And in that promo, he mentioned that his full-time wrestling contract expired on August 1st. Now, the assembled crowd where they were looked absolutely dumbfounded, thus further proving that real life does not equate to the internet wrestling community and vice versa. Right. So for as much hyperbole and with as much tribalism as we see, yeah, it doesn't run that deep. You might see all the discourse online, but that's not the end-all be-all. These fans had no fucking idea that he was damn near done. And as it sits right now, Bryan Danielson is on a handshake agreement with AEW leading up to their biggest show of the year. So that could be very interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, everything adds up to Danielson winning that title because just a couple of months later in October, it's going to be Wrestle Dream in Tacoma, Washington. And that is where I see Swerve getting a win back and beating Bryan Danielson. And yes, retiring Bryan Danielson from full-time activity.
They're both from that area. They're both from Tacoma.
Exactly.
Oh, I didn't know
That's
that.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. So what better way to do it than just to have both of the hometown guys there, let them go at it in the main event for the championship. And you do the title change there, you re-coronate Swerve, and you send Bryan Danielson off at least for a bit into the sun. Elsewhere, last week, MJF christened the international title as the American title. Not going to lie, it's a pretty fucking awesome looking belt, regardless of your stance on the whole, patriotism and flag bearing. What did he do this week? He is being the American hero. And he took that title to CMLL and defended it in Arena, Mexico, touting that he was defending the championship for the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. Obvious, instant, major heel heat. I did not think that of all people to bring back the international title defenses that it would be MJF. But here we are in 2024 and the motherfucker's doing it. So that is awesome. Obviously, he did defend the title successfully against Templario, one of their younger athletes that they're trying to build. And then finally, Christian Cage is just too damn good. He came out, cut a promo. Obviously, they won the the AEW Trios titles last week, and he decided to give the title belts to the people that deserved them. So he gave one of the belts to Nick Wayne. And then he told Killswitch how much he appreciated him and then handed the third belt to Shayna Wayne for giving birth to Nick. No title for Kill Switch. And they planted the seeds this early for the turn. Thank God. House of Black came out and interrupted. And then Buddy Matthews came back. Obviously, we now know that when they wrote him off of TV a couple of weeks ago, that it was strictly for contractual reasons because he's back and they chased them off. Bullet Club Gold showed up. So that's a giant clusterfuck. I'm guessing we're going to get 3 versus 3 versus 3 at All In and Wembley.
Okay. All right. Let's move over to you, Boss Larry. What do you got for this week?
Jericho was entertaining as always. You know, with that hand injury, his broken finger, the redwood. You got Katsuyori Shibata, you know, in the works. All of that was very entertaining. I'm liking the promos you're getting out of the conglomerate. I'm liking the leadership that you're getting with the Kung Fu Chicken Fighter. I mean, it's great. But who gives a fuck about that? We had frickin' I was gonna say WrestleMania. We had Summer WrestleMania, SummerSlam was
Summerfest.
Guys got in and dressed up. It was like summer stock. They all did their best Shakespeare, and it was very Shakespearean, was it? Wasn't it? Dom Mysterio screwing over Rhea Ripley, and then slobbered just the tongue down the throat of Jersey's finest. You know, I mean,
Dom finally became a man. That show, he finally moved.
Well, that was the thing. They really kind of wrote him as a cuck, because we know in behind the scenes that Rhea Ripley's banging Buddy over there at the other promo. So her licking his face was bizarre. That's like Dom sub shit. And that was it. Like, I guarantee it was like the end of Game of Thrones, where he was just forced to watch, like Theon Greyjoy with not a dick, just being forced to watch. Oi, we're gonna watch our real man fuck Rhea Ripley. and Dom's in the corner crying, but I'm the Latino. Shut up, you know.
Right.
And so Liv Morgan and him getting it on, and I'm going, where are they gonna go with this? Having the rest of Damian Priest sending the rest of Judgment Day to go find him. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, didn't she put the tag team title belts on those two guys? Why would they? And sure enough, they screw over Damian Priest. So now you're going to have a bloodline. Well, but a Judgment Day Civil War. I was going to say bloodline. It was going to be a Judgment Day Civil War. And you know what? Right. And the thing is, I don't mind. Mind. You're going to have Carlito and Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest go and be the Spanish side. Dom and the two Irish boys go over there with Liv Morgan. And we can carry that feud on for at least 3 or 4 months. Easily. Now, I don't know how they'll balance the side for, Damian, but it's great. It's absolutely great. They did some great things. Did I want to see, Gunther win the title this way? Fuck yes. Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. And he holds that belt for you. That's perfect. World Championship, perfect for him. Absolutely perfect. Could not have asked for anything more.
Well, I could tell you that Gunther and Braun Breaker will be holding those belts for some time, as they should.
Yes.
And that's
should.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Completely deserved. Completely deserved. When we're talking about the Fragile Phil match, I loved it. The fucking around with the wrist bracelet with the kid and the dog, with the wife and the dog, and he just won't give up the break. Because what was the problem? You had Drew McIntyre was fixated on menial things and lost his chances because he kept screwing. So now we see the opposite with CM Punk. He keeps screwing around with the bracelet and blows his match opportunities. And by the way, the same thing with Rhea Ripley. She had a couple of times you're like, all right, it's done. Okay. She's got shoulder injury. She's going to keep throwing her shoulder back into her socket. All right. Okay, fine. As soon as she kept doing that, I'm like, oh, you're telegraphing the shit out of this one. You could have beaten her 3 times already. There were 3 individual spots where she looked at her, put her in the riptide, and then was screwing around and went, she's in the riptide. It's over. Ah, come on. Dom's got the chair. Oh, don't telegraph it. I liked it. I like it. I'm not
Good.
I'm not gonna what the fuck it, but you did telegraph it. And then the last match, the final match was, you knew that it could only go one way.
Oh, yeah.
You can only go one way. I will have a what the fuck about that one in a second, and not about the match itself.
Let's move over and see who needs some love. I'll start over with you, Rob. Is there anybody out there, man? We should be.
I feel so sorry for Braun Strowman because like, what the hell? This guy's got that Big Show juice dripping all over him. You know, next they're going to do one of those gimmicks. Remember when they did that Big Show gimmick where it was like they were going through his finances on TV, and Stephanie's like, remember all those times we freaking bankrolled your family because you were broke as a joke and no one would book you? And I'm like, why is this a WWE thing to humiliate people and bring up their, how deadbeat they are over and over again? It's the worst trope ever. He's about 2 minutes away from that, because they could have thrown him in the Wyatt Six, to be perfectly honest. That was always there for him. And he doesn't have great mic skills, so that would have been perfect. Nope.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they take
dark matches with Chad Gable. Yeah.
All right, let me move over to you, Sid City. What about you? Who needs the love out there?
I ranted and I raved about this dude last week, but the Beast Mordos was on both Dynamite and Collision this week, and he teamed with Roderick Strong in both shows, and then a couple of other guys in the Undisputed Kingdom on Collision. But they actually gave Mortos a pinfall victory over Mark Briscoe, who is still the Ring of Honor World Champion. So are they going to possibly do something with Mortos in Ring of Honor? Is this why they're building him up? Regardless, whatever their methods are, I'm all for it. This dude, he made Hologram look phenomenal last week. And in both matches this week, he looked great, acting as a perfect base for anybody wanting to do any lucha. This guy, he continues to impress every single week. And for those of us that saw his work in Impact as Black Taurus, yeah, this is not exactly new. We've known that this guy is extremely talented for quite some time. So it's great to see him actually on a bigger stage in front of a lot more people.
That was funny.
Yes. Yeah, the bullfighter spot was stereotypical Orange Cassidy. I mean, you knew that he would have to incorporate something to that. And quite frankly, if he wouldn't have done that, that would have been a missed opportunity, because that just fits with Orange Cassidy's character right now. And quite frankly, that's somebody that needs some direction, because he's in the conglomeration, but he's floating at sea.
The Beast Mordos, I'm assuming he can only speak Spanish. I've never heard him speak, but maybe grunts and a few words here and there.
He might.
Right. So that's another person now. You need an Alex Abrahantes running around behind him going, yeah. I would like to see him with Roosh, the two bulls together, and the tag team. I don't like the Beast Mortos because he came from TNA. They just call him Black Taurus, White Taurus, or Toro Blanco, Black Taurus. Put them together.
Mortos. You can just call him Mortos, and that's fine.
Or Mortos Muerte, or some tacky something. Shit. Yeah, I'd love to see the two of them together.
And realistically, Roosh is actually affiliated with Don Callis now. So they did that a couple of weeks back, where they kind of had him as a henchman for Don Callis. So bring in Mortos right alongside of him, put them as a tag team, let Don Callis be the mouthpiece for both of them. That's a
Well, Don Callis family, we love Mexico. Us Canadians, we love the Mexicans. And we're going to do it big. We're going to.
All right. Let's move over next to our WTF. Well, Sin City, There, I guess, shouldn't be too much WTF unless we concentrate just on AEW programming. So what do you got?
Wow.
I'm sorry, dog. I teed it up the wrong way.
You know, in any event, yes, I do have several things.
Let's go.
Talk about brand loyalty.
In case you guys aren't aware, they are still doing this Deonna Purrazzo Thunder Rosa feud.
Hold on. This match brought to you by C4. Did you get your C4 energy today and snap into a Slim Jim? Sorry.
Bro, what the fuck, though? Legit. After Rosa beat Taya Valkyrie, she challenged Deonna Purrazzo to a Texas bull rope match next week on Collision. For fuck's sake, can this please be the blow-off for this feud? What the fuck? Elsewhere in the women's division, we got the debut of Camille this week as she absolutely wrecked a local talent. My only issue and the only reason why I'm mentioning this in the WTF, Camille looked great. She looked imposing in the ring. She did everything that she needed to do. But if you're going to try to get her over as this giant, this imposing figure, don't let Mercedes Moné wear 10-inch fucking heels and stand right next to her with a fucking cowboy hat that makes her the same exact height as Camille.
When she gets in the ring, she's going to be a half a foot taller, or shorter.
What the fuck? Legit. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Fix this one thing with the presentation and it's all good. Also, Lance Archer versus Will Ospreay was a very good match. These dudes have good chemistry with each other. They've worked numerous times in New Japan. The only problem that I have is this. Lance Archer has never been consistently painted as a credible threat because of the terrible booking that he's had. Will Ospreay hit him with a hidden blade. Now, mind you, he didn't take off the elbow pad, but Archer kicked out at 1. From this guy's finish, come on. Like, Ospreay got the win in 11 minutes, but still, elbow pad or not, what the fuck? Why are you doing that? And then lastly, Alex Marvez makes this segment 2 weeks in a row. This week, the Learning Tree standing back there with a cake commemorating Chris Jericho's 102 days as FTW.
Oh, it tastes good.
Champion. Dude, wrestling psychology dictates that if there's a cake on a wrestling show, that someone's face is going to be going into that cake.
Right.
Nope, not at all. That didn't fucking happen. Big Bill stood there holding the cake, looking like a fucking, like he didn't know what he wanted to do with himself.
Oh, God.
And then at the end of the segment, he handed it off to Alex Marvez, who literally takes a finger, licks the frosting, and can you say that again, Boss Larry?
That's good.
Yeah, that was his fucking reaction.
But that was funny as hell. You know what, Marvez? Usually when there's cake here, goes to someone's face.
Right. Fucking Jericho should have found some contrived way to trip him and send him face first into the cake or something.
Do you know why that happened? Do you know why
Because
that happened? Because he
people
was
wanted it to happen.
SAWFT soft.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, let me go over to you, Rob. What WTFs did you find this week?
You know, there isn't a person alive who was watching SummerSlam who didn't think for 1 second that Roman Reigns was going to come out and kick the shit out of Solo Sikoa, except for Michael Cole, who shouts out, "Oh my God, I never in 1,000 years would I ever think that Solo Sikoa would be beat up by Roman Reigns." I'm watching this debacle of commentary, and I've been told for the last 15 years that Michael Cole is the zenith of broadcasting, to be handed off to his heir apparent, Corey Graves, which is his words. When you tell me that something that we knew was going to happen so obviously is a shock to you, I don't want to be distracted by my color commentary team. Okay? You know, when Samantha Irwin's voice cracked saying, and the new World Heavyweight Champion, Cody Rhodes, she was so excited about it that it brought me back into it, and I got emotional listening to her get emotional. But when your guy is such a stooge and a terrible at his job, as Matthew is, as Michael Cole is, it's distracting. You're trying to tell me you're that stupid, or that I'm that stupid? Which of the two? Because
it's funny that you actually pay attention to that. Because I mean, as much as I enjoy listening to most of the commentary, when Roman came out, it was like I'm not paying any attention to commentary because right now I'm in a moment of, dude, he's here. I can't.
right.
Moment.
But here
So
was
what
the
everybody else saying is like it's I don't know. It's
your boy here is tired. Come home from a day of work. I'm a little slow. I had to go watch the end of Acolyte, so the whole fucking thing would reset. And by the way, Matt Michaels watching because me and Matt Michaels are trading notes because we're watching the replay. So I had to sit through an hour and a half of fucking Acolyte for the WWE replay to kick in because I'm paying for it. So I'm not going to go watch wrestling.aeiou when I'm paying for it. You know. With the fucking Indian Desi fucking commercials that come up in between, you know. Did you know that in Desi India, this is a great time for technology? And if you ever watch that at the end with the fucking Dalmatians and dogs, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to fucking say anything. All of you who watch wrestling.aeiou or Desi Rules at one point in your life, you all fucking do it, even if you're paying for the shit because you're like, oh, I have to wait for them to reset their server. So I have to sit here for an hour and a half. Or I was watching this I turn it on, and the first thing I see, by the way, what the fuck? First thing I fucking see is yeah. So I won the belt. And I'm like, oh, great. Spoiler. Because now you're showing me, instead of resetting it, you're showing me the fucking press scrum. So now I'm seeing LA Knight talk about his win. I turn it off, wait a half an hour. I see Cody Rhodes with the belt. I'm like, so what the fuck to that shit? Figure out how I can rewind, fast forward, direct TV this shit because I hate that. The only thing that
I will say is ever since that Peacock took the WWE network from them, I'm so shocked that they never figured out a way to adopt the same features that was built into there.
What did you do back in the day for WWE? Before it was quite an app, when it was just a website and you would sign in, what's the first thing you do? You log in and you go, Seth Rollins, you're the winner. And I'm like, well, but I'm logging into your site to watch the thing. So why would you spoil it on your website? They used to do that. So they've never figured out how to they haven't mastered the streaming. That's the other what the fuck. Because if I'm on the West Coast. On the East Coast, there's nothing but love for us. But on the West Coast, fuck you. So.
All right.
Do a West Coast feed. Like they do with like DirecTV has West Coast Cartoon Network or East Coast Cartoon Network and West Coast, whatever. That's it.
Well, you gotta be live, but I understand what you're saying. I understand. All right. Let's move over next to the Lookout. I'm more excited looking at what's going to happen this Monday and this Friday. Woo! Boy, we got a Civil War we got to get going here. Let's go. That's exciting, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm not looking at things right. Let me jump over to you. Go, Rob. What are you looking out for?
So Dominic Mysterio is going to have to invest in Carmex now because I'm going to be looking out for cold sores. You know, she's from the shore. I can only imagine. You know. Live between Liv Morgan, tongue blasting Liv Morgan, and the other one licking him, and I don't know where the hell she was. She was wrestling with gauges in her ears, so she's got to be into some sketch crap, you know. I mean,
sketch crap.
I'm telling you, the Judgment Day is when that blood test comes back. That's the Judgment Day for Dominic Mysterio. I don't know now. I mean, I got everything I wanted. Like they literally surprised me at every angle and gave a match so good that this was really good. So I don't know. Obviously now I want to see. I've mentioned this before. Talatonga. I want to see where in relationship to the bloodline, if at all, they do something. And please, for the fucking love of God, do something with Nia Jax. Acknowledging I've got a belt now, put me somewhere, pick a side, put me on, and show that I am part of this fucking bloodline. You know,
I don't think she's doing bloodline, man. She's running her own story.
I wish
finally having her moment of just being the women's champion.
There's a reason why I want this.
Plant that seed.
There's a reason why I want this, and I think it'll make sense. She is still terrible at cutting promos. She's obnoxious, and I'm going to say this. The women don't cut a lot of great promos. Damage Control with Io Sky's actually good. The broken English, and we're going to get things done. And okay, great. That's actually kind of, great. But she needs a Paul Heyman in her corner. She needs to have her Stokely Hathaway. And I think if she had that, she would be next level. Why can't a woman have a guy be in the corner? It worked with Statlander. I like Stokely Hathaway when they did it for Jade Cargill. I loved all of that. And before that, I forgot the other guy's name that she had. But that works. Do it. Give her him. Give her somebody that will put her over. Now, real quick for the future, I'm looking forward to the Bryan Danielson match, but who gives a shit? It's going to be MJF versus, Ospreay. And I'm curious as to see where they go with this, because Ospreay's still holding on to that international title. And I can't imagine them getting rid of the international title and putting in an American title. It doesn't make sense. This seems more gimmicky than anything for MJF for the summer. So I'm really curious to see what they do with this, even if they keep both titles in some bizarro way.
Okay. No doubt. Sin City Steve, man, what you got?
All right. So yeah, as far as the lookout, I genuinely think that to kind of piggyback on something that you were saying, Rob, I think that they're actually going to start planting the seeds now for the Tiffany Stratton cash in on Nia, and when that's going to happen, because I think that's something that I'd like to see. The ways that they're going to plant those seeds. Elsewhere, obviously, let's just talk about the stuff that happened. Obviously, you had the Roman Reigns return. He comes out and he, Superman punches Solo, has the long 10-minute stare down with Cody at the end of the show. Of course, we're going to get the Bloodline Civil War, as we've all assumed. But honestly, let's talk about something that not one of us have mentioned anything about, and we are nearly a half hour into the show, and that is exactly how much of a fucking slugfest that Gunther and Damian Priest match was, and what we can expect from Gunther going forward. Yeah. That guy, you did mention it earlier, Rob, that he should hold that title for a long time. It is perfect for him. But yeah, I want to see how they're going to treat him with that championship, if they're going to show him the respect that he deserves, which I assume they will. He wasn't the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time for nothing. I think that they know what they're going to do with Gunther, and they're going to get it right. Elsewhere, back on AEW, I talked about this dude last week. I'm looking out from fucking Hologram, dude. Everyone said for years that AEW can't manufacture a completely organic superstar, completely organic wrestler. Well, over the span of the last 3 weeks on Collision, this dude has gone out there, put on banger matches, and quite frankly, have gotten some of the loudest crowd responses of anybody on the entire show, which was pretty astounding. This week, he went out and teamed with the original Sin Cara, Mystico, against Tony Nese and Arya Daivari. Again, let's build some character with this dude. I think that there are a lot of things that they can do with him. Again, the language barrier definitely could be an issue, but again, I wouldn't have expected them to take this guy from vignettes to 3 matches and have the crowd going apeshit for him, starting chants in the middle of his matches organically. It bodes extremely well for his career, for sure.
I heard the Beast Mortals took some ape shits in the ring.
Well played.
Absolutely. All right, let's go into our best in show. All right, Sin City, what was your best in show this week?
All right, so Dynamite was an extremely easy watch this week. AEW has really gotten hyper-focused on actually doing episodic storytelling. That being said, I'd be lying if I said that it wasn't SummerSlam. Quite frankly, I held off from really talking about SummerSlam until the last segment because, again, I didn't want to step on toes. But realistically, that Gunther and Priest match was very solid. The Judgment Day implosion was exactly what people thought it was going to be. It was completely predictable. But as we've said on this show numerous times, the predictable thing is not always a wrong thing. And in this case, they pulled it off absolutely perfectly, just on all sides.
Mm-hmm. And just to add to that, I love the idea that, finally was able to get the belt over the Damian Priest, which it was well deserved, for him to hold that belt as he held it. He did a good job as much as he can as being a champion, but my whole point is that he's had his moment, and the way that he went out not having that belt anymore with Balor did, made it now like it just wasn't a straight up 3 count. It was interference, that came from his own side, and so we'll see where that goes. But just shout out to Damian at least having that, because at one point I was not even thinking he maybe was going to ever be a champion, and he had champion, as far as I'm concerned, written all over him. So good stuff on to that, man. I didn't want to let you continue, but I just wanted to shout out Damian Priest. I thought he was a great champion for himself, Judgment Day.
Absolutely. And LA Knight and Braun Breaker both being crowned new champions is big as well. Say what you will about the Vince treatment with Otis and with Gargano and with Logan Paul all jobbing out in their hometowns. But it was definitely the right call on all of those things. Logan Paul dropping the title like he did. I gotta say too, though, thank God he did not fuck himself up on that botched superplex brainbuster.
Yeah.
that looked like it could have been really fucking bad.
Yeah.
But yeah. And obviously the Braun Breaker match was exactly what it needed to be. It was 5 minutes. It didn't need to be a 50-50 match. You gave Sami Zayn some spots, but this was all about crowning your future of your company in Braun Breaker.
He missed that first exploder, and then they had it, and then they went back for the second one. Because I watched him like, damn, you are right up into that ring post. You are not hitting that, or he's going to go flying over the ring.
Well, and it just shows you what's interesting, because we always talk about how you shouldn't put your best matches on free TV, and everything leading up to the previous matches that Sami and Braun had were awesome matches on Raw. And it's not to take anything away from SummerSlam, but clearly those was not in the same context of how Sami was really putting a beat down on Braun. This was now, Braun now quickly went in there, knocked it out, like you said, in 5 minutes. So clearly, if you really want to see better matches between the two, you needed to watch Raw the past previous weeks to see better matches between the two.
You got a poster, John just put.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
And obviously, I was completely happy over the result of the Fragile Phil match. That's exactly what should happen. You should use someone like him to put over Drew McIntyre. Even though I was a little bit kind of iffy about utilizing Seth Rollins in a referee role, but it worked. It worked for that match. And that's something else that I definitely had to mention as well. Very solid execution across the board. There obviously were some things that I could have done without on SummerSlam, but in any event, it was a very, very solid show, and without a doubt, the best thing I saw this week.
No doubt. Rob, what was the best in show for you this week?
Let's just get right to it. No subterfuge. It was SummerSlam, and it was SummerSlam because I've had SummerSlams where some of the matches were disappointing, and you're trying to 50-50 it and go, well, this was good, but this was bad, Remember the one they had where Daniel Bryan he won because it was a fast count, and then Triple H took the belt from him a day later because of the cadence of the counting. None of that bullshit. This was just good storytelling with good matches. Where was I upset they didn't do the tag team matches the night of? No, I didn't miss it. I didn't miss it at all. 2 nights, that's later on, but everything was exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah.
Everything all the points were hit. I might have liked to have heard Bad News Barrett's voice, because AEW does like 5,000 goddamn guys, and I think Barrett would have been, to have him included in that would have been good. But it was, I would give it an A out of an A+ being the absolute best. And what could have made it better? Michael Cole shutting the fuck up. But you know, I can't think. It's probably one of the best SummerSlams that they've ever done, as far as the satisfaction of the match quality leading in and the results on all of those matches. There was nothing that I didn't believe was inbound. By the way, the best thing was when Damian Priest looks over the freaking and looks at the Titantron and realizes he just got screwed over. And then oh my God. So it wasn't a 1, 2, 3, you got screwed over. It was, this is happening to you in real time and you still have a chance to get out of this. That was an anxiety level. They ratcheted up the tension in that match by not making it just happen right at the end. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was brilliant storytelling. I love that when he looked at the Titantron, they did the replay. Seth Rollins screwing around with the ref cam. That was, I hate ref cams. I hate all that gimmicky crap. It didn't even work. It worked at the beginning, at the very show, and then you saw Seth Rollins took it and rolled it up in a ball and threw it. That was brilliant. I'm watching this. He goes,
that was awesome.
Going, what the fuck? But even his counts were great when he was sitting there and just watching them and yawning. Everything they did was perfect.
Yeah.
Minus the shitty Michael Cole commentary.
Listen, you're shitting on Michael too much, man. I like, you know, Michael's that good corporate guy. You know, if I want something to be done right, I'm calling Michael, you know, and I know I'm going to get every aspects of what I need in that position. So
here's what I want. You remember when Joe Biden had that State of the Union and he was all jacked up? That's what whatever they gave him, give it to Jim Ross and put Jim Ross there. My God, Stone Cold. Jim, that was 20 years ago. Stone Cold Steve Austin. God damn it, it was a slobber knocker. Would still have been better than. Can you believe this? Can you believe that the guy who screwed over the other guy's getting beat up by that guy now? This is crazy. This is crazy. Who are these people? It was like having George Costanza, you know, call a match.
That's funny. All right. Well, guys, listen, that is our wrestling talk show for this evening. We thank everybody for hanging out with us. Hey, make sure that you are subscribing to our platform so when we go live, you get the notifications. It's pretty much around 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sundays. So wherever that relates to wherever you're seeing this, just adapt to it. We want to see you on. We love the comments that come on. Shout out to you always, John. We got a chance to see Charmaine, Rodney, a few of you. Thank you just for hanging out with us. As always, we appreciate you. And yeah, and we got a lot more wrestling to. You know, I'm gonna shame Matt Michaels for him showing up next week. I'm gonna shame him. Give me a week.
I was talking to him last night.
I know.
I figured he would be here.
He's not doing anything. It's just an excuse for him to not be here. You
Impact. Know? Don't you have a little button you can press?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll have to press that button.
I'm just saying.
He's gonna have to be shamed like Trish Stratus.
No.
Get the bucket.
You're right. All right, let's give our final thoughts. I'll start with you, Sin City. What you want to tell the folks?
All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all the stuff that you guys do. We appreciate each and every one of you. Also, very special shout out to all the brave men and women serving this country, whether you're doing it on lands, foreign or domestic. Thank you for doing what you do so that we can do what we love to do. And last but not least, repsports.com, reppsports.com. Go there for all your pre-workout, weight loss, general energy needs. Again, that's repsports.com. Use promo code Vegas at checkout and save yourself 15%.
15%.
15.
15. There go. All right. Rob Bossolari, where are you going to be at this week?
Hey, wait a minute. Does Trish Stratus have a kid? I've got to get my reps in. No. This has become an impersonation of me doing Matt Michaels doing Vince McMahon.
Pretty much.
He does this laugh. Mr. McMahon doesn't laugh. He goes, ah. I'm like, when did he ever do that? This is like if I asked AI to do Vince McMahon.
Right.
It's such good shit.
I'm going to get my reps in on Linda, but she's too old. So no. I actually have 2 shows this week.
Okay.
One I can't tell you will be on the 10th at Notoriety.
Okay.
For Shot Color. If I'm not mistaken, that one's at 10:30, but just look that up. And you can, as the week goes by, BOC, you got me. It's on there at Boss Comedy. The other one will be called The Underwear Show. I normally would never do this. There is a comedian who hosts a show where the comics strip down to their underwear. So it's going to be Donald Trump in his underwear. And I'm trying to, because my health is horrible, and the last thing I need to do is put on a lot of pounds of like saturated garbage and have a heart attack just to do 10 minutes of a set, because I am that method acting. So I'll be like, oh God, this is do you need help, sir? I need 4 more years. And they're like, sir, this is serious. Have I been paid yet? Give me the $25 and you get robbed back.
Right.
Give that man his 25.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So you're going to get to see Donald Trump in an Adult Depends.
Okay.
And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is drink a bunch of protein shakes right before I go up, because that'll distend the shit out of your belly. So I'm going to still exercise the whole week, but then I'm just going to pound like protein shakes like 1 hour before, and you'll have the big belly, man. It'll be great.
This must be the show to see you. When is this one? When is this show?
I don't have the information yet. The guy's putting in the final details in right.
Let us
but
know. Yeah.
I do know. I think it's going to be at a gay bar called The Bend.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy's a comic and a producer, and he hasn't done comedy in a while. And immediately he got a spot. He got a good room. Okay. I'll work any room as long as they don't try to work me. Just say I'll do any room. I'll do anything. They want to call it The Bend as long as they don't try to put a bend in me. But see what I'm saying? You're just I'll give you a bend. I'll give you the Trish Stratus bend.
Oh boy. All right, man. Well, good stuff, man. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. And guys, we should be back. We'll do it all over again. Please join us. All right. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go find Mr. Michaels. All right.
He's got no chance in hell.
All right. Take care. Happy wrestling.